Gracias por seguir participando en Proveedora Automotriz, edición especial Plástico. Nuestra segunda conferencia magistral estará a cargo de Tracey Yi, quien es la directora ejecutiva de Arrival Elements y lidera los esfuerzos de integración vertical de Arrival. Además, Tracey se desempeña como directora de adquisiciones de la empresa, supervisa la producción de los materiales y componentes del vehículo de Arrival. Antes de unirse a Arrival, Tracey ocupó varios puestos de liderazgo en abastecimiento, estrategia y adquisiciones y trabajó en algunas empresas de tecnología de las más grandes del mundo como son Apple, Nokia e Intel. Tracey nos acompaña hoy con la charla Empowering the Electric Future. Bienvenida, Tracey.
We need to be radical. We don't have any time to waste. We have to be free from the limitations of the past so that we can build a radically better future. At Arrival, we are contributing to this future now with vehicles that elevate the everyday, improve the air we breathe, unlock true sustainability, and empower local communities. To us, they're modern vehicles. They're the products of a revolutionary process. How they're designed, the materials they are made of, and how they are produced. These innovations set us on a path to a more equitable life. One where the vehicles in your city are made in microfactories local to your city. And these cities are everywhere. Each city making the vehicles they need, creating for themselves smart connected ecosystems. This is how we make electric vehicles affordable and accessible to everyone. This is how we empower communities. This is how we have impact. Radical impact.
Good day, everybody. Hi, my name is Tracey Yi. I am the Executive Vice President and CEO of Arrival Elements, and I am really honored to be here today and to share a bit more about Arrival and our journey and plans go ahead. I hope we don't have any technical difficulties. I guess this is our new world, so bear with me as we go along. I have a deck here for you, which I will run through, but I think it's worthwhile sharing. A big part of our story starts with our founder and CEO, Denis Sverdlov. He, like many people, noticed that while the transition to electric vehicles in the personal market is well underway, that there was quite a large gap in the commercial landscape. So if you think about the average person, I know for myself, I live in London, United Kingdom. I think most people drive an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. Whereas you look at kind of trucks, vans, buses that clog our roads, many of them are being driven 24/7 on shifts by different drivers. So to achieve radical impact, we have to really focus in this commercial space, which we have done. So let me talk you through a bit of what we are trying to do here at Arrival. So let me see here. Okay, there we go. So we are trying to revolutionize the electric vehicle market. We have 4 vehicles that we have announced. You see the bus there. Beside it, you see our small variant cargo van. We have a large van that isn't pictured there. And then announced recently is the Arrival car, which you see, which is the car share vehicle. So we have 4 vehicle designs that we will have them all to market by 2023. And our first vehicle, the bus, we will be starting production at the end of this year in the United States. We have already a confirmed order of $1.2 billion. And we believe, in addition to what we're trying to do in terms of design and functionality, the way we manufacture our vehicles is, I think, radically different. We will be building them in microfactories. I'll talk a little more about microfactories as we get to the later pages. We are a company that's also very vertically integrated. We want to be in control of much of our own destiny as possible. And we have a leadership team that I think, for one, I'm awed every day with the people that I work with, incredibly brilliant and kind, and people who care about the planet, which I think makes a really big difference. We've been really lucky to get the kind of endorsement and support from the market quite early on. So one of the commercial partnerships that we announced quite early on was with UPS. It is a deal worth over $1.2 billion for 10,000 vans, with an option for a further 10,000. It is a commercial partnership because it is an investment as well as an order. So, and the delivery for the prototypes of these vehicles have already begun. And it was one of our first earliest relationships, when Arrival was a company that nobody had heard of, and and UPS were interested in what we were doing, and they've been working with us since 2016. And then a little over a year ago, we announced, I think January of 2020, actually, we announced the investment of 100 million euros from the Hyundai Kia Motor Group. And this is again, a joint development of vehicles using the Arrival platform to leverage the Arrival microfactories and our software innovation. So we are super excited about that, to have a global leader, a tier 1 OEM, come spend extended time with us and do the due diligence, and who were excited as we were about what we are trying to do at Arrival. So in addition to them, we also announced last year BlackRock. Many of you will know they are a global leader, strategic financial investor. They invested $118 million US dollars, funds managed by BlackRock Inc. And these funds, along with the investments from our other strategic partners, will be used to support our growth. So I've spoken a bit about the 4 vehicles, and I want to just talk a little more about their specs. So the electric bus, which will be in production at the end of this year, the range is 240 to 400 kilometers. Payload of 80 to 125 passengers, and an expected start date of Q4. The electric van, so this is the small variant, the range of 150 to 340 kilometers, 975 to 2,000 kilograms cargo mass, and we will be in production next year. The large electric van, 190 to 400 kilometers, payload of 4,000 kilograms, and expected start production again at the end of next year. And then finally, our small vehicle platform, the Arrival car, it will have a range of 100 300 kilometers, payload of 450 to 800 kilograms. And we are planning start of production Q3 2023. So the next generation, I wanted to add in some visuals. I think for those of you who are interested, there's some lovely content on YouTube and elsewhere. We've done lots of features and interviews. And Patrick Bion, who is the VP of the van vehicle platform, has done some amazing narratives kind of walking through the vehicle and for this van specifically, and that's available online. So again, I think this deck will be made available at the end of the production. So at the end of the, on the website. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but I think what it shows is the Arrival van. What we're trying to do is it is lighter, significantly lighter. So it has slightly less than 2,300 kilograms versus Mercedes Sprinter and Ford Transit, which were the two vehicles we use as a comparison, that are significantly greater. However, despite it being lighter, the payload is significantly greater. So we're able to carry almost 2,000 kilograms worth of payload versus something substantially smaller, as well as cubic meters of cargo volume. So I think these are, really exciting metrics. Floor to ground ratio, 450 millimeters. So one of the feedback we get a lot from e-commerce delivery vans and drivers is they're, they'd like to be able to step the ingress into the vehicle much easier. So we have a vehicle that's slightly lower to the ground to help facilitate that. Oops. Here are a few more visuals on our van. Next is the Arrival bus. So again, from gross vehicle weight, we are considerably lighter, unladen weight considerably lighter as well. Payload is significantly higher at 8,000 kilograms, and then max gradability. So our ability to move at much greater hills if you drive the bus in mountainous or very hilly areas. Oops. Okay, and here are some more visuals of the bus. So as you can see, there is a lot of glazing. Everywhere you look is glazing. And if you look up here on the side of the bus, this is a wide width LED screen that completely wraps around the whole vehicle. It allows for obviously marketing, as well as providing information for passengers on, the length of, any traffic to worry about, or where the next stop is, etc. If you look at the picture here on the right, a roof light, it's a skylight again, all the way through, lots of glazing everywhere. And then I think in our current world with COVID and our understanding and need for safety, and flexibility. I don't know if you could see here on the seats, our seats are on cantilever. So what we've been told by kind of cleaning feedback from bus operators is you're able to go in and clean really easily under the seats versus it's sitting on pillars or legs in other models. The other thing that this allows you to do is, because the seats are on a cantilever arm, if we are in an environment as we are now, and we want to create more space between passengers, you could go in that front row of black seat and remove one of the seats, and you can go into the pink seat behind it and remove an opposing seat, thereby giving people the space that they need to feel safe in the current environment. The drivers is completely enclosed, and again, that would, that makes it very user-friendly for at least, especially in the current market. So this is a timeline again of our vehicles. So this is the start of production. We are starting with the bus, then the small variant van, the large van, and the arrival car in 2023. So new methods. We like to see ourselves as a technology company that right now happen to be making vehicles, and in future, but we also make a lot of other things. And one of the things that we make is our core components. It's what comes to mind for me when we talk about how vertically integrated we are. By doing it in-house and allowing a plug and play for our future customers, it offers substantial cost reduction, it is upgradable, and it's designed for microfactoring. So obviously, buying a core component off the shelf, if it isn't designed in the correct way, we won't be able to use our robots in robotic assembly. So it's core to our design principles. We also have a proprietary composite material, which allows us to produce A surface and B surface with very low tooling, which obviously impacts piece price. It's super lightweight, super durable, and again, it's designed for microfactories. There is quite a bit of video available online in YouTube and LinkedIn and elsewhere on our own arrival.com website, where we've taken a panel of our A surface, and we took another panel and we took a hammer to it, and you can't make a dent on our composite materials. And what a lot of the e-commerce companies have said to us is, 90% of the time when a delivery van is off the road, it's because it's a light ding. It's not a huge mechanical problem, but because it impedes and it impacts the image of your brand, that they take it off to kind of pound the dent out and replace it, repaint it, all of that. So to be able to have exterior A surface that is so resilient is, I think, incredibly compelling proposition. We also have a modular skateboard. So this allows for efficient packaging. It's highly flexible. Again, it's designed for microfactory, and it also allows us to go from different formats, different sizes of vehicles on the same technology. Microfactories, we've spoken about that. We call it micro for a reason. It has a super small footprint. It has very low CapEx and OpEx requirement, and we're able to deploy it really quickly. So within 6 months, we were able to build a microfactory. And we can talk a little more about that in the coming pages. And then we have a vast software engineering team. So we do a lot of in-house, we do all of our in-house vehicle software, again, plug and play. It completes control of the user experience. It's access to all vehicle data to optimize total cost of ownership. And here's a really, I think a picture tells a lot of it tells a much better story than words ever will. So this is typically what a tech cell will look like. So you have a robot with a door, and then you have a device, you have a part that drives in and does the assembly. And that each cell then can convert and be programmed to do a completely different assembly, action, etc., and so on. This is our first microfactory that we announced in Bicester. It's in Oxfordshire, just north of London. And this will be a van microfactory in the middle of next year. This is Rock Hill, South Carolina, in the United States. This is our first bus microfactory. And again, this is at the end of this year. I don't have a picture yet because it's all moving really quickly, but we also announced Meadow Oak in North Carolina, which will be our first van microfactory in the United States. And we have announced Madrid microfactory, Madrid, Spain, which is another van microfactory in continental Europe. So the industry is changing, and our view is that the microfactory aids in allowing us to be flexible and scalable to local customers. So I've spoken here already about how small they are. On average, about 20,000 square meters versus 20,000 square meters versus 2 million square meters. Traditional OEMs, we are able to reuse kind of logistics, storage, depots, etc. There isn't anything unique. We don't have to dig into the ground or anything like that. So it makes it quite easy for us to look for suitable locations. So, what we're able to do is we work with the customer, we find out what configuration they need, and then we're able to put a microfactory very near them to be near the customers. It reduces logistics cost. It allows for the customer to be very involved in the production of their own vehicles. And then I think microfactory timelines, I've already covered that, so I will move on to the next page. So we compared our microfactory with the Volkswagen factory in Poland. And so when we look at, we make 10,000 vans a year out of our microfactory, and the Volkswagen factory makes 100,000. So we just basically took our metrics and we just times it by a factor of 10. So we're doing an apples and apples comparison. So when we're looking at 100,000 vans produced a year, Arrival is able to do that on 2 shifts. The Volkswagen factory is doing that on 3 shifts. We are doing ours on 200,000 square meters. Again, it's 20,000 each times 10 versus over 2 million square meters. Ours, 10 microfactories will together cost $440 million in CapEx versus almost double that for 1 gigafactory. Our OpEx is again 120 million for 10 microfactories versus double 240 million in a traditional OEM. And really compelling of all, time to open our new factory, we can do that, commission it in 6 months versus a 36 month time frame that's typical in traditional OEMs. And so I think that agility and being able to respond to customers quickly is a huge advantage for us as well as for our customers. So a little bit more about our plug and play components. It is highly modular. Again, if you look at some of the videos online, they all come kind of 10 center in variations, 20, 30, 40 grid. You're able to stack them. They're all upgradable. By being vertically integrated and doing it ourselves, we believe we're much faster to market from design, validation, prototyping, production. We can get to market in about 18 months, typically versus a 3-year time frame. It is upgradable throughout the life cycle of the vehicle. It's designed for robo-factoring, and we are doing that at considerably less cost. If you look at the tier 1 suppliers that provide core components globally, they have employees of hundreds of thousands, and need to charge profit margins of 30%, upwards of 30%, to help sustain that kind of scale. We have been growing rapidly, and we still are. I say only, but I can't believe we're over 2,000 employees as we stand today. I mean, when I started, I think I was employee 600 something. So in terms of our overhead, you can't even compare. Here is a picture of your modular skateboard. You've got our, most of our vehicle chassis is made of aluminum casting, and aluminum extrusions, and that's where the batteries sit. So the advantages of our modular skateboard platform: it's designed for microfactoring. It is highly scalable, and so we can use it across multiple classes of vehicles. We have runs loads of simulation crash tests, and we've had really encouraging results so far. And we also have designed a fully flat floor from rear to back. So for example, on our bus, most vehicles, you get on a bus and you kind of come 2/3 ways down and you have to step up into the rear seating, and we are flat all the way back. That increases the amount of passengers we can take on, and then for vans, obviously, the amount of cargo that we can carry. This is the composite materials. When you look at it in close, it looks like that. It absolutely just looks like woven fabric that comes in big rolls of material that is cut, molded, cut, heated, molded, laser welded, cut around for precision. Our composite tooling goes straight from CAD data to production in 2 weeks. I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling. It is used for both exterior and interior A surface, B surface. It does not require any traditional metal stamping or paint shops, which, by the way, is worth pointing out. That's why we are also able to have microfactories that have such a small footprint. It's usually the metal stamping and paint shops that absorb so much space, and we have none of that in our vehicles or in our microfactory. We use raw materials that are widely available. And of course, it's super lightweight, which is critical in terms of payload and extending our battery life. Our digital ecosystem. So we have over 500 software engineers in the company, and they are working on everything from internal tools, the in-vehicle software, and the customer-facing software. It is all our own proprietary, and again, fully upgradable. It's over-the-air upgradable, cloud connected, and all our vehicles are autonomous, AV ready. So here's a few more visuals of our HMI and how it interacts with your personal device to get information about traffic, arrival, whatever weather, whatever it is that you need to do your job or to perform that function, whether it's delivering a vehicle or delivering very precious human cargo, we're able to provide that. Good. So that is a very quick whistle-stop tour to Arrival. I'm flying to Mexico City myself on Monday. We hope we will be meeting with a lot of suppliers ourselves as we plan our global supply chain. And I hope to meet a lot of you in person one day, hopefully as a supplier to us and a strategic partner. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for letting me speak, and have a great day.
Agradecemos a Tracey por la valiosa presentación que nos ha compartido esta tarde. Los invitamos a seguir participando el día de mañana en las conferencias de Proveedor Automotriz Edición Especial Plástico, que dará inicio a las 9 de la mañana. A los participantes inscritos en la modalidad gratuita, los invitamos a adquirir su pase B2B y poder aprovechar la oportunidad que aún tienen de solicitar citas con los compradores. Les deseamos mucho éxito en este primer día de Proveedor Automotriz Edición Especial Plástico.